Hey everyone, Chris here from AV.technology, and I'm here with Zach Snook, who's the Director of Product Management at Biamp. So we thought just get together and have a quick chat before the Integrate Expo kicks off. Good to see you again, Zach.
Good to see you again.
Big first question. When I think of Biamp, I think of solutions, and I think of acquisitions as well, which you've done a bit of since we last saw you. But I guess with solutions, especially UC solutions, where does Biamp sort of see itself headed and fitting now that, especially in Australia, with Teams and Microsoft basically kind of throwing its weight around and taking over the market? It's clearly the biggest kind of the biggest player in the space. So I guess, do you want to just speak to that first, and I guess your UC solutions and where you fit there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate the fact that you think of Biamp as solutions, because we think of it as the same way, right? We go in and try to give that sort of pro AV component to conference spaces, which is something that is often overlooked. So we really want to make sure that customers have an extraordinary audio-visual experience within those spaces.
Sure.
And that has been our focus. Of course, you mentioned, in the recent years, it's been a shift of who kind of owns the sort of experience, the leading customer experience in the space, and that's certainly been the UC platforms, Teams and others included with that. So we've recognized that. And really, Biamp kind of looks at, when it comes to customers who desire Teams room experience or Zoom room experiences or Meet experiences, whatever the platform might be, then we do our best to augment that with premium hardware.
Yep.
So it's really, we look at it as more of a partnership. I mean, of course, these people are coming in, these companies, these platforms are coming in and really advancing our market. They're doing really wonderful things and doing amazing technologies. And our goal is to augment that, to help make it better and help them deploy these solutions that customers are wanting.
Sure. And certification is kind of the golden ticket in many regards, isn't it? And it seems to me also that it's not necessarily a guarantee of performance necessarily either. Like there are some there's some hardware out there that is extraordinarily good without certification that doesn't get touched, and there's some that is certified and it's like, yeah. But so what's from your perspective, like, what's the certification process like, and how fair is it, or how easy is it, or difficult to jump those hurdles? And what are you doing within Biamp, I guess, to kind of get ahead of the curve there?
Absolutely. It's not quite as easy as it might seem sometimes. So there's been, many outstanding products that have probably gone through and had hiccups and events that happened during that certification process. I honestly think that the certification process through some of these things really keeps the products and the companies up to a higher standard. I think there really is some great use in that. When we go through the certification, we look at things like double talk performance, or the certification itself looks at double talk and noise reduction and AEC performance and just general bandwidth passing. There's 200 to 300 individual tests that you must pass start to finish, and then that's just objective. Then you go into subjective testing and stuff. So I can say from our own personal experience that there's been times where we're a little off on some parameter or another, and we have to dial it in. So I do believe that the certification effort isn't necessarily easy, but it's very beneficial. Okay. And I recognize why these UC companies are doing that. At Biamp, we actually were the first DSP to be certified, even before they really knew how to certify a DSP product. We were kind of working with Microsoft back in the day to take something that's so highly configurable and kind of rein it into something that could be certified. Okay. And it really led us into the launch deployments. So that was led out of a Microsoft and Zoom certification effort where there was too much variability, and they didn't like that in their systems. So we took the variable parts and tried to automate them more, and Launch is the result of that. And Launch actually got certified. We went through the sort of secondary effort of making sure that our process of Launch was certified through the UC platform. So at the push of a button, you enter a certified state within the unique acoustic space of your conference room. What we've learned a little bit over the years is that certification is always going to go better if you start early. Sometimes even prototypes or something is something you want to bring in and start testing. And really that investment from Biamp was, we designed and really kind of developed our own testing environment. In fact, we use Microsoft certified settings to create a new testing studio that we have.
Okay.
It's got a very large anechoic chamber. It's got a reverberation room, just like the lab testing and environments at the UC certs. We also bought a head acoustics rig, which is the fake head that you place in the conference room, and different microphone types and speakers around to make noise, and the software suite and all the training and materials that go with that. So what that means is Biamp will now kind of have our own standard that we design to. We can start pre-certifying ourselves within our own facility to try to make this process happen much, much more quickly. And the ideal state is moving to Microsoft certification becomes more of a formality at that point. We go in expecting to pass and move through the process more quickly. So it really does represent a level of commitment that Biamp has to the UC rooms, to the UC platforms, and our desire to kind of get our certifications in line as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that you're designing and refining with the certification in mind rather than here's my product, how did I go? While I've got you, I noticed at Infocom earlier in the year that cloud monitoring and control is obviously a big deal. In some ways, like I thought, weren't they doing that already? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like when I think of SageView or I think, oh, okay, yeah, that was always just always on premise. But like, and you made an announcement, so I just thought I'd get you to chat to me a little bit more about Biamp Workplace and where it's come out of and what's it doing.
Yeah, where it came out of was actually a year ago. I think we were sitting together on the show floor, and that next day we announced our acquisition of Evoco, which are our scheduling and desk booking panels. Evoco came with a cloud deployment software for those panels.
Right.
So while our scheduling panels, now Biamp Evoco, are very unique and important to us, the software that came with that acquisition was actually something else was being eyed at the time.
Okay.
So really we started with that, and a lot of foundational level stuff was there for us. So the security platforms, the just deployment on cloud servers and where we host things, and how that's all set up was really kind of brought in with Evoco. And we've taken the time in the past year to kind of refine some of that. We really kind of built the foundation a little stronger, and then we started adding more and more Biamp products to that. So right now you're seeing the inclusion of Tessera as a platform within Biamp Workplace, but you'll see more and more as we keep adding all of our platforms into the cloud-based monitoring environment. What is sort of unique and what we spent a lot of time in the last year looking at is how we kind of really make that foundational level of Workplace as versatile as possible. So people have asked us, well, I need all these platforms in, and we agree, we want all our platforms into Workplace, but we really wanted to make sure that foundational level was steady and versatile. So it relies on things like organizations. So if you're an end user, you can have your own organization. If you're an integrator, you may be a part of multiple organizations. If you're a consultant, if you're a distributor, you can still sort of interact and participate in that. And then within the organization, we've come up with a very kind of open container philosophy around locations. So you'll have the ability to look at a city that contains a campus, that contains a building, that contains a floor, that contains a room or a parking space or a closet or a hallway, depending on what system you want to deploy. So the move to cloud was coming. Everybody's moving there, and we really wanted to make sure that we got this right, that we got the foundational level set, that we rely on sort of industry standard protocols, and we really kind of embrace this cloud infrastructure.
But if you're accustomed to Sage, how foreign is it going to be to make a switch, or are they kind of going to be one superseding the other? Is that the idea?
No, SageView is going to continue to live on. Right. If you want an on-prem solution, we still have that, and some people do prefer that. But if you're looking for more of a cloud management tool, then Workplace will be your solution there.
Gotcha. Cool. I think that's all for now. Thanks, Zach. That's awesome. So have a great show.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, it's Biamp's exhibiting as Biamp this year.
Yep.
As a fully standalone subsidiary. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool, man.
Cheers.